But so he was only concerned about himself and his own feelings. So he could be selfish. All right. What did? He was cruel and selfish. So you guys had the same thing as Antonio. Okay. I would like to get to everybody, but today we've got to keep our lesson within the literacy time so that we can get on to rotations. Did you have something different than what they had to, Shayla? What did you have?
We said that he was
hateful. Yeah, I agree 100%. I think he was very hateful to poke and beat other people. Okay, did anybody have anything different than selfish, cruel, or hateful? What did you have, Johnny?
rude.
Rude, yeah, he was totally rude. Okay, you have something way different, Takaya? What did you have?
We got
uncharitable. Okay. Did you have something different than all that? What did you have, Evie?
Unfair.
Unfair. Yeah, like the slave master originally was.
Oh wait.
He
wasn't just.
Yeah.
He was lazy.
He was lazy. Yeah, making other people do his work. I agree 100%. I would love to get to everybody. There's going to be another chance to turn and talk in just a minute, so hands down right now. I'm sorry, Zaire, but yesterday we ran over on time, and I got to keep my time going, okay? So, you guys gave me a lot of good answers. But I think, out of all those, the one that I think would sum up everything about this factory boss was hateful. I think he was definitely hateful. So right here I'm going to come. Right here I'm going to come down to where it says the factory boss is hateful. In the story, he poked and beat Henry when he wouldn't work. So there we've got the character, we've got the trait, and we've got the evidence. Okay, we're going to keep reading right now, Antonio. Do you have a question about this? What? Go ahead, Antonio.
Why you couldn't put if Henry made a mistake, the boss would beat him?
You could do that. I put he poked and beat Henry when he wouldn't work. That was just my wording, but when you fill out your own for different characters, you could totally do that. For right now, I'm going to keep reading.
You can't see the page no more.
At lunchtime, Henry rushed to the center of town. A large group of slaves was tied together. The owner shouted at them. Henry looked for his family. "Father! Father!" Henry watched his children disappear down the road. Where was Nancy? He saw her the same moment she saw him. When he wiped away his tears, Nancy was gone. Henry no longer sang. He couldn't hum. He went to work, and at night he ate supper and went to bed. Henry tried to think of happy times, but all he could see were the carts carrying away everyone he loved. Henry knew he would never see his family again. Many weeks passed. One morning, Henry heard it singing. A little bird. Oh, man, messed that all up. Let me start that over again. Many weeks passed. One morning, Henry heard singing. A little bird flew out of a tree into the open sky, and Henry thought about being free. But how? As he lifted a crate, he knew the answer. He asked James and Dr. Smith to help him. Dr. Smith was a white man who thought slavery was wrong. They met earlier the next day at an empty warehouse. Henry arrived with a box. "I will mail myself to a place where there are no slaves," he said. James stared at the box, then at Henry. "What if you cough and someone hears you?" "I will cover my mouth and hope," Henry said. Dr. Smith wrote on the box, "To William H. Johnson, Arch Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania." Henry would be delivered to friends in Philadelphia. Then he printed on the crate in big letters, "This side up with care." So, just a little historical context back then. Slavery was mostly in the South. So if slaves could make it to the North, they could be free. And Philadelphia, Pennsylvania was in the North, and there were a lot of abolitionists there. And abolitionists were like Dr. Smith. They were people that were against slavery. They wanted to outlaw slavery. Yes, question, Takaya?
We read this book about something about this in Rice, and it was
Oh,
this girl named Nellie.
Yeah.
And she was a slave, and she went to Philadelphia.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a
It was runaway
good.
slave.
That's a good connection there.
My mama got that one.
Okay, I'm getting ready to move on, so make sure you are focused on the book. Henry needed an excuse to stay home, or the work boss would think he had run off. James pointed to Henry's sore finger, but Henry knew it wasn't bad enough. He opened a bottle of oil of vitriol. "No!" cried James. Henry poured it on his hand. It burned his skin to the bone. Now the boss would have to let him stay home. Dr. Smith bandaged Henry's hand. They arranged to meet the next morning at 4 o'clock. So oil of vitriol would be like a poison that would burn your skin off all the way down to the bone. The sun was not up yet when Henry climbed into the box. "Ready?" he said. James nailed down the lid. Dr. Smith and James drove to the station. The railway clerk tipped the box over and nailed a paper to the bottom. Dr. Smith begged the clerks to be careful, but they didn't listen. They threw the box into the baggage car. So right now, I'm thinking about this Dr. Smith character. And remember, in the book, he's the white guy that he's an abolitionist, so he's against slavery, and he's so far, just think about the stuff he's done. So I want you to look at our chart about something that might describe Dr. Smith, and then I also want you to think about the evidence from the text that would support your character trait. So think, pair. I'll be your partner, Dominique. And share.
I think
Yeah, Dr. Smith helped put them in. Friendly, thankful, caring, polite, respectful,
he was kindly,
gracious.
he was faithful.
Kiki, are you sitting?
Yes, I'm learning.
Okay, hands up if you would like to share the trait and the evidence you and your partner talked about. Let's go with Kariana.
I think he was
Faithful? And why do you say he was faithful?
because he's helping Henry run away from slavery.
Right.
Be free from slavery.
Okay, that's a good one. What did you talk about, Keely?
Kind.
And why would you say he was kind?
Because that he tried to get everybody off the slaves.
Right, so I agree with your reasoning there. What did you have, Zaire?
So me and Abby talked about, I said hopeful and
Helpful?
I go.
And why did you say he was helpful?
Because he was helping them. He was helping Henry get to Philadelphia safe.
All right. Sincere, did you have something different? You didn't?
I had something.
Sorry you didn't get to talk, buddy. Did you have something different, Daniel?
He was helpful because he.
Did you have a different reason that he was helpful? Okay, what was your reason?
Because I know when he said please do it carefully, I knew he knew that it was gonna get hurt.
So he was looking out for his health.
Friend.
There. Yeah, he's looking out for his friend. All right, did anybody have anything different? Antonia, what did you have?
Dr. Smith was terrified because Harry couldn't fill out the box.
Yeah, he was terrified, but this is an awesome example to explain the difference between a feeling and a trait. So do you think he was terrified all the time, or do you think he was terrified just in that moment, whenever they tipped the box over?
Yes.
Just in that moment? So would that be a feeling or a trait?
A feeling.
So, who can tell me the difference between a feeling and a trait? What's the difference between a feeling and a trait?
Okay, a feeling is what there is at that moment. A trait is what there is all the time. Like,
Right.
Dr. Smith is I don't know how to say it.
Courageous?
Courageous.
Right there.
Before fake.
Confident?
Right here. Right here.
Oh, generous?
Yeah, right here.
Gracious.
Gracious because he helps everybody. Like he frees some slaves. Like they were some slaves and he freed them. So
Right.
basically he's
But do you think he's terrified all the time, or would that be something he just feels in the moment? Yeah, it'd be a feeling, right, Antonia? Did you have something different, Zakai? That was Henry that tried to hurt himself, remember? That wasn't Dr. Smith. Okay, so right now, out of all that stuff, and you guys are all on point with it, I'm going to say that he was helpful.
Yes. I did that. I said.
And he helped Henry. And down here it says, Dr. Smith is helpful in the story. He helped Henry. Mel. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Himself to the north. Okay, let's finish this book real quick. Hours passed. Henry was lifted up and thrown again, upside down. He heard waves splashing. This must be the steamboat headed for Washington, D.C. The ship rode smoothly, but Henry was still upside down. Blood rushed to his head. His face got hot. His eyes ached. He thought his head would burst. But he was afraid to move. Someone might hear him. I'm tired of standing, someone said. Why don't we move that box and sit on it, said another. Henry held his breath. Could they be talking about his box? Henry was pushed. The box scraped the deck. Now he was on his right side, now his left, and suddenly right side up.
Yay.
What do you think is in here? Said the first man. Mail, I guess, said the other. I am the mail, thought Henry, but not the kind they imagine. Henry was carried off the steamboat and placed in a rail car. This time, head up. He fell asleep to the rattling of the train wheels.
What
What's a riding on the train wheels?
So when trains go down the road or down the tracks, they make a noise. Remember that book we read where the kids, what was that called? Shortcut. Remember Shortcut?
Yeah.
Where the train was going clack, 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 clack. Everybody go.
Wait, that's a train? That was like
No, that was the train, dude.
That's a knife and a hammer.
He awoke to loud knocking. "Henry, are you all right in there?" "All right," he answered. The cover was pried open. Henry stretched and stood up. 4 men smiled at him. "Welcome to Philadelphia." At last, Henry had a birthday. March 30th, 1849. His first day of freedom. And from that day on, he also had a middle name. Everyone called him Henry Box Brown. Okay, so listen up. As you guys are reading, yes, Sincere?
Beat him up.
Those aren't weapons. Back in the day when there's wood box, and even today, when you're shipping something with like a wood box, you have to have tools to open it. So that's what those are. So, but what I want you guys to think about right now is next week especially, when we're taking our benchmark tests, and you're reading through a passage, try to think about the character and the trait that would define their character, and then the evidence from the text that you could use, because this will help you comprehend the text. Now, I've got quick questions really quick, and then we got to move on to our exit ticket. Yes, to Shayla.
Is he who put that spoil and stuff on his head?
Yeah, him. Yes, Zaire. Yeah, that knife was also used to open. Remember I said that these tools were used to open the box. Okay? It was a wooden box, so I'm not even sure that's a knife. It was probably a pry bar that they used to hammer to open up. A pry bar, it's a tool that you use to pry open stuff. One more question. Yes, to
So, Mr. Foster, why did they have to, so I understand that he put that oil on his hand, but why do they have to put it on their hands so they won't have to work?
Because if you weren't hurt seriously, then the factory boss would be looking for him or make him come to work. So it was his excuse to get out of work. Okay, so listen up for your next directions. On your desk, you've got these character trait evidence card, and you're going to fill one out for Henry. Over here at the teacher's choice table, I'm going to put the book if you need to come up and get evidence from the book to support your character trait. Right here, you've got a list of traits that you can use to describe Henry. Questions? Yes, Zaire.
Who passed those out?
I passed them out before the lesson started. Oh, you didn't get one because you're sitting over there. But there's one on your desk, okay? All right, so you may walk and start filling out your exit ticket.
Wait, what does the room work?